And in United States and in Europe, when you purchase art, you can also, or you invest in art as a company, you can declare some of your investment as, you may not pay taxes. You may receive some tax deductions. I'm not a tax lawyer, but these are all within the possibilities. And in Turkey, if as a company you support some artistic cultural events, then your expenditures are also, you can deduct some of your expenditures related to these activities from you may pay lower taxes. So that's why we see lots of sponsorships to art events and also to sports events, right? But unfortunately, I'm not very much familiar on these issues. But it was an excellent question. Thank you, Doruk. So there's also one more challenge, but maybe this challenge will be less of a challenge. I would like to know what you think about that. But the lack of liquidity also is another problem. So there's a very limited liquidity, especially when you buy from a young artist, and if you want to sell his work. It's not easy. If his market is not well established, you may not find someone who is interested to purchase this artwork the time you need to sell it. And it is very rare from the part of galleries to purchase back the artworks from the collectors. For example, I don't like anymore this artwork, and I want to sell it. It's not easy to sell it. Maybe it was more difficult yesterday or in the near past than in now in the upcoming future. But still there is a lack of liquidity. I mean, artworks are not as liquid assets as government bonds. Okay, for example, I always give this example. Imagine you live in a nice köşk on Bosphorus, and you have Osman Hamdi painting on your wall, but you have 0 lira. You can't even buy a simit. What you're gonna do? You can sell your yalı easily, and you can sell your artwork easily. You have to find the right person to purchase the work. So it is infinitely illiquid. And maybe with auctions, online auctions, the especially young artists market may flourish. Young artists secondary market may flourish with that. So before room auctions were held 3-4 times a year. For example, Antik AŞ or Global Artam Global were organizing auctions 3-4 times a year. And imagine we had about 17 auction houses. So there were so many auctions in 90s, in early 2000, in the first 5 or 10 years until 2010, let's say. But lots of major auction houses quitted the market. And now we see lots of small online auctions or only online auctions, which try to sell art online. So that may create a liquidity. For example, I have 10 artworks, I want to sell them. And if I use online, and if I can sell these artworks quickly with lower transaction cost online, then I can say that the liquidity problem will be resolved in the art market. And also the art market is not matured enough. The investor does not understand the risk-return relationship, which is very skewed. That means there are few artworks which generate very high returns, and there are tons of artworks which generate very low returns. So again, if I ask again, and then why do people invest in art? There are lots of advantages in investing in art. As I said, the first thing is that the returns on art are not correlated with returns on other assets. Maybe this is the most important characteristic. This is not much discussed in regular basis. However, it is very important. Art prices and other asset prices, for example, art prices and interest rates are not very much related. So that creates a great opportunity to invest art, because by incorporating art in your investment portfolio, you diversify risk. Okay, you diversify risk by lowering the volatility of your portfolio. So what is the idea of portfolio? Instead of instead of we say that don't put all your eggs in one basket. So this is the situation where you buy a little bit of gold, a little bit of stocks and different stocks. You buy a house, you buy a land, and then you also buy art, portion of art. And it is suggested that this portion shouldn't be more than 5 to 7% of your total assets. And when you purchase art, you have to keep it at least 10 to 15 years to have to make it mature enough. And it is also said that art is a distressed asset, stresses asset, so that it can save you from the ravages of inflation. So art can hedge you against inflation, and which is maybe something that we should have said right at the beginning. Art generates psychic returns. So the prestige, joy, the pleasure from owning an art object is very important. And in one of the article that I wrote, I found that this return, the psychic returns for Turkish people, is very high. For each 100 lira paid, 30 lira is the psychic return generated through psychic returns in Turkey. So since art prices bounce around so much, one should hold art for at least 30-35 years to be certain. Okay, so at least 10 years and around when I say buy art for your kids, and your kids will sell them if they want when they have their own apartment, or when they need to do something with this artwork. So I want to say a few words about art funds, which is very, very important. It's a very hot topic right now. Actually, first of all, you have to do your homework if you want to invest in an art fund. How it works, instead of buying a whole painting, you invest a certain percentage of the artwork. So you still invest in art, and the art fund has its own collection. So you're a collector as well, but you don't own the whole collection. You share this collection with maybe 100 other people, but this collection also you may spend some time with this collection. You can have some of the paintings at your home as a you can share on a tour at the time, and you can still generate pleasure of owning and viewing art at your place. But you have to calculate your margin of safety. You shouldn't put, again, all your eggs in one basket. For example, there was an art fund in India, Yatra Art Fund. It was a closed-end fund, and it had a maturity of 3 to 4 years. The fund is finished. That means, let me tell you how it works. It collects money from investors, and then with this money, artworks are purchased, and there's a council of curators. Artworks are purchased, and for 5 years, these artworks are shown in different museums and art exhibitions. And once time comes, you start selling these artworks in different art auctions, and you generate returns, and you distribute your returns to the initial investors once the fund's collection is completely sold out. So what is the major difference between a mutual fund and art fund is that there is no clarity as who will govern them, who will own these art funds. In general, there is an entity, there is an official entity um, or estate which owns the artworks, and the members of the funds or investors, each investor to the fund has access to the artworks on a scheduled rotation basis. So the initial investment, the higher the initial investment, the larger will be the amount of the fund. But as an individual investment, you have to put at least $200,000. Okay, so you put $200,000, and if you find 99 other investors, you will have or even lot larger, you will have the size of your art fund, and then you choose you have to carefully choose the artworks, to then wait for these artworks to generate return in a promised period of time, and start investing. This is a very hot and attractive project. So I see a question here. Yes, Doruk, not all the collectors are attracted to that. Okay, so imagine that there is a palette of collectors. Okay, some collectors want to buy on the artwork, and some collectors prefer to rent the artwork, and some collectors may prefer to invest in an art fund and try to generate some investment return, as well as on very important, interesting art objects during the life of the art fund. Okay, so it is not for everybody, but again, the nice thing is it's a niche art instrument, so it satisfies a demand of a particular investor. So the idea is to find out who are these particular investors who are interested, who could be interested in such an art fund. Again, what are the reasons? Aesthetic or financial reasons. So some people evaluate the art as they do it in case, for example, in traditional shares, bonds, golds, foreign exchange. We can think artists as brands, and there's an increasing demand for contemporary art. This is for sure. And this is also the most speculative part of the art market. So if you are clever, if you have eyes, if you can pick the best, the top stars, the future stars, then you can make a lot of money. So for that, you need a good eye. You need to have a lot of a strong background in art history and also in all these, in art world, and also in networks. And the last point that I want to talk, and then I want to stop, is it's about preferences and time preferences and cultural consumption, which is an important concept that as an economist we have to think about. So this is going to be my last lecture. I know that it is a very squeezed lecture, but again, you have chance, since I'm recording, you have chance to re-listen to that, and I'm going to upload the PowerPoints. And as you see, since I haven't talked for too many weeks, I need to tell you all these at once. So in the last part, I'm gonna talk about these preferences, the aesthetic preferences, why some people like aesthetics, and this is related to neuropsychological research. This is related to also some Gestalt theory, focusing on the organizational elements of a work of art. Okay, so which work of art we like, why we like. This is also related to the experimental aesthetics, seeking to investigate the specific features of an artwork which are positively correlated with feelings. Okay, which artworks make us happy? For example, this artwork, it's a rose. It's a beautiful artwork, but in a living room, it cheers up. I have very dark paintings on the corridor with symmetries and lots of skeletons. For example, my husband doesn't like this painting because it is very dark, and he says that he brings bad ideas and very dark ideas to mind. So again, aesthetic preferences are different from it is related to, there are different tastes, there are as many as like different character and different artworks. For each person there could be an artwork. So Kerim Dinler says that an artwork market is directly connected to popularity. Yeah, you are, Kerim, you are understanding very well. Okay, Kerim, you have the sense of the art market. You're so right in the sense that what I told you, art is a conversational currency. Art creates a conversational currency. Remember Alican Leblebici? Somebody wanted to purchase his artworks. He tried to bargain with him about the price, and he wanted to ask 50% discount, and he sent half of the painting. Now, since he sent his painting, he cut his painting into two, that created a story about his painting. So creating a story created a lot of information, adding information to a painting, to an artist, nurtures the market of the artist. And if you're an artist, you're painting in your own studio, nobody knows you, then your artworks and you are alone in the universe. So the artwork needs to communicate with the rest of the people. And how you will make it communicate? You try to make it popular, you try to make it known. So that's why people want to share the artworks on Instagram. They want to cross-share the artworks. They repost the artworks of other people, and that creates lots of interactions. You are right. Why we know Mona Lisa? Because many times this painting came to our vision. Many times we have seen it. We don't know how many times since our childhood, right? So art market is full of promotional ideas, how to make an artwork to come to the directly in front of the eye of art lovers. Okay, so yes, this is an important point. What are the artworks which create interest? The artworks which create some conflict. Remember when in 1917, his name is gone. The Dadaist, the father of the Dadaist movement, sent this fountain to an art fair and signing it with a nickname, John Mutt. I'm so ashamed of myself of forgetting his name, Marcel Duchamp, Grégoire. Many thanks. So when he sent this toilet to the art fair, then he didn't know that he was starting a new art school named Ready Made. So he created a contrast to the art in the art market, in the sense that at that time everyone was trying to do, you know, what they see, you know, the trees, the portraits, etc. He sent a toilet, ceramic toilet, to the art fair, or you know, creating a novelty, creating a surprise. Remember the banana of Maurice Catalan? He stick a banana with a tape at Miami Art Basel Miami last year, or you know, creating complexity or creating an uncertainty. So all these, remember the shark in Formaldehyde of Damien Hirst? Again, you're surprised, you're shocked, and you know, pleasure is at maximum. You know, and you try to attract to five senses of people. You try to create pleasure, and you try to create an aesthetic experience, and you want to stimulate people, and you know, you try to create some music, some noise, some even some odor, and some visionary effects. So as an artist, there are many ways to create attention, to attract attention to viewer.